The SAT is an important test used in college admissions. How should you approach it? Here are 4 do's and 4 don'ts. Do take the test. Some students think that because some universities have called the test optional, that means taking the SAT is unnecessary. However, the data tells a different story. Look at the admissions data of competitive schools. In 2023, 83% of students admitted to Harvard submitted scores. 85% of the students admitted to Princeton submitted scores, and 72% of students admitted to Stanford submitted scores. At less competitive schools, we see the same trend. University of Michigan, 78%, University of Pittsburgh, 63%, University of Illinois, 64%. The data tells us that test scores dramatically impact admissions. So take the test and take the time to prepare. Speaking of preparation, don't expect your score to go up by hundreds of points in just a few weeks. You'll find plenty of people on the internet who say that for a few $100s, they'll give you a few quick tips with which you can get a $1,500 in just a couple of weeks. These people are scammers. Getting a high score will take months of practice. Don't believe anyone who tells you otherwise. If it were easy to get a $1,500, everyone would do it. But what's one way to get there? Learn punctuation rules. Learn the proper uses of commas, semicolons, colons, and dashes. If you know these rules, you'll breeze right through the grammar section and have more time on the more complicated reading section. Take the SAT only when you can recite all punctuation uses by heart. Next, don't assume short passages are easy passages. The SAT has short passages, but that doesn't mean they're easy. These passages test high-level reading comprehension and grammar. The difference between a wrong answer and a correct answer might be a single word, so don't be fooled. Expect the test to be hard. Speaking of hard, skip the hard questions and come back to them later. A hard question is one where you are stuck between 2 or 3 choices. If you can't pick a choice, leave it alone and come back to it later. Your brain will subconsciously think about it as you work through the rest of the test, and when you come back to it, you might gain a new perspective. But even if you don't, even if you're still stuck, at least you wouldn't have sacrificed the entire test for one single question. So, skip the hard ones, come back to them later on the second go through. Speaking of deciding between 2 or 3 options, don't use outside knowledge. Outside knowledge is stuff that you've learned at school, in your home, on social media, anything not on the text in front of you. Test makers trick students by providing answer choices that seem logical or seem similar to what they've learned at school, but have nothing to do with the text. In fact, in some cases, these answer choices might contradict the text. Everything you need to answer the question in front of you is in the text in front of you. Don't assume otherwise. Don't try to think outside of the given text because it will always lead to a trap. Don't fall for it. Speaking of difficult questions, don't pick a correct answer without eliminating incorrect answers. Always use process of elimination. Wrong answers are easier to find than correct answers because every question will have 3 of them, 3 wrong answers and 1 correct answer. And those wrong answers will be wrong. There will be a flaw in each of them. There's no such thing as a partially correct question. There's no such thing as a question that's correct, but the other question is better than it. Don't think in those terms. 3 wrong, 1 correct. Find the wrong ones, cross them off, and then pick the correct one. And of course, the text will provide evidence for correct answers and against incorrect answers. And finally, make sure you do a lot of practice. And don't just practice with SAT materials. Read books, articles, short stories. Make outlines of what you read. If it's a nonfiction text, outline key ideas. If it's a fiction text, write summaries of each chapter. And of course, take advantage of official practice SAT materials too. And the SAT materials that we have on our platform. Our website hosts thousands of practice exercises and 10 full-length digital SAT tests formatted just like the real ones. You can find all this material on our website at testinnovators.com/SAT. Thank you very much for watching our video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful and free SAT content.